According to Genesis chapter 14, the Bible says when he met Melchizedek, he paid tithe of all.
You give him the first, the 10%, and he will take care of the rest.
The tithe started with Abraham.
Yeah.
Genesis 14 is called the law of first mention. Nobody asked Abraham for it. Abraham is coming from idol worship. In idol worship, you don't go to idols empty. You must come with something. That's the foundation of Abraham's mindset.
Ouch.
So Abraham goes to war, defeats his enemies, recovers Lot. On his return, he meets a man called Melchizedek, a type of Christ. Now, not Christ, a typology of Christ. And Abraham, having had the blessing from Melchizedek, took a tenth of the spoil of war and gave to Melchizedek. The tithe. He didn't pay. He gave in response to what Melchizedek has said and in response to the victory that God gave him at the place of war. Moses became a prophet over Israel because God in Numbers 19 said to Israel, I want to make you a kingdom of priests and kings. I want to relate with you directly. And Israel said, no, we don't want to relate with you directly, God.
That's
if
powerful.
you want to do anything with us, talk to Moses.
Yes.
If we want to talk to you, we will talk to Moses. So Israel appointed Moses a mediator, and God permitted, because God is not a tyrant. He will allow you have what you want, and he will warn you of the outcome, the consequences of your choices. Moses now preached Christ to Israel, and Israel did not listen to Christ. So Moses began to give them laws and laws and laws. And now, since you don't want to relate with God directly, it means you will need a priesthood. So Moses set up a Levitical priesthood. Now, the Levites were a tribe in Israel that were set apart to serve in the temple. And they were not supposed to walk. They were not supposed to farm. They were just supposed to stay in the temple on behalf of Israel. So Moses said, okay, we're going to borrow a leaf from Abraham. If the Levites are not going to work, it means you guys will have to pay them of what you own, since they're working for you. And that will be done once a year during harvest. So the tithe was from food, plants, and herbs. That was the tithe. And somebody said to me, but there was no money. I said, no, it's a lie. There was money right from Genesis to Exodus. So it's not because there was no money, it's because the tithe was food stuff. That's why when Malachi will speak, he will say, bring you all the tithe, there may be food. There may be food. There may be food, because the tithe was all from food. And they were doing that all through until Malachi. Jesus shows up, and the Bible tells us in Galatians chapter 4, verse 4, but when the fullness of the time was come, God sent forth his son, made of a woman, made under the law, to redeem them that were under the law. Which means Jesus existed under the law of Moses. In Matthew 5:17, he says, I'm not come to destroy the law, but to fulfill. That means to meet the demands that the law gave to man that man could not meet. So Jesus met those demands. Romans chapter 10 verse 4 tells us, Christ is the end of the law for righteousness to everyone who believes. Galatians 3:13 tells us, Christ hath redeemed us from the curse of the law, being made a curse for us, for it is written, cursed is everyone that hangs on the tree, that the blessing of Abraham might come on the Gentiles, that we may obtain the promise of the Spirit through Christ. So Jesus took away the law and all the demands of the law. Today, we don't pay tithe.